Welcome everybody to the Huber Rebels podcast, your new favorite podcast featuring two dudes talking about music and music?
Yeah, music.
We don't talk about music.
No, we don't. wait.
What song is that? Oh.
Chance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I should probably start over.
Because that's copyrighted.
No, because I messed it up.
That's our intro song.
Welcome everybody to the Huber Rebels podcast, your new favorite podcast featuring two dudes talking about movies and video games and our lives. My name is Jordan, also known as Monty Joe.
And my name is Ethan, also known as Prithik.
Yes.
No, that's my last name.
Yes.
That's not how you pronounce it.
I know, but I'm just so happy that
No. I wasn't even thinking of my handle when I said that.
But
we're
so close. We're almost there.
No, that had nothing to do with my handle.
You gotta stop teasing it. That close.
That was just my last name.
And why can't it should just be that? Why can't it just be that?
Because nobody can pronounce my last name.
You just did.
But
now
no,
they can.
Nobody that sees it can pronounce it.
That's what makes it fun.
But no, so there's so many. Everyone would just get it wrong.
Can you go through how people get it wrong? What are the mistakes?
That's it.
That's it. That's the only one.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. Prithurch and Prythurch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people only know how to do things phonetically in America.
So now they know though. If they care, if they're gonna be calling you by name, then maybe they'll have heard the way you said it, and they'll know.
Okay, I can roll with that.
Yeah. It's going to be really upsetting to me if you do ever change that handle.
Well, it's just because no matter what, nobody will see that and know how to say it. Period. Even if I say it, there will always be new people that don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And it'll just create fragmentation and confusion. That's real, and I know that in my heart of hearts.
Yeah.
So I'll just create an alternate.
Sorry, I feel like you're annoyed that I'm not trying to force anything. I just really thought that you had actually decided something yeah, let's go.
No,
but now I know that it's
definitely
just, we're still back at square zero.
100% at square zero. And that's why I didn't want you to get your hopes up, because no, that was not almost got.
We almost got there, guys, but we're no farther along.
I am determined to make this last as long as possible.
Cool.
I'm still trying to come up with something that I can have forever.
Yeah.
But
you planning on changing your last name at some point?
No. I'm not. I really don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Something we were going to say earlier, but you probably didn't hear it because it got cut because it turned into a really weird tangent that I wasn't expecting.
Oh, how we're also considering talking about music?
No, that was fine. But something about contacting us. I was going to bring up if you are watching this, tweet us and let us know. That would be appreciated. Tweet us at Huber Rebels, all one word, on Twitter. Obviously on Twitter if you're tweeting, I guess.
You could tweet us on
Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat.
What are those other platforms?
Woof.
Woof. No, you know how they have you can use the Twitter app, or you can use those knockoff Twitter apps that are kind of called Twitter, but they're still plugged into Twitter, but they're not called Twitter.
My dad has an app that he actually likes better than Twitter. That's it's Twitter, but it's not made by Twitter.
He's plugged into Twitter.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Remember when you used to be able to tweet from your notification center on your phone, or post to Facebook? Remember when they came out with that? You pulled your notification down from the top, and there was a place to write a tweet or a post on Facebook.
No.
Oh, the phone. That's annoying. You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Gotta wait for the phone. Guess you don't have to, but
no, we definitely don't have to.
It's just gonna be annoying.
It's the what is it?
The ground floor attic?
No.
Oh.
No. It's the superphone. Quick! Who's calling?
Is that from Batman or something?
Or SpongeBob.
Oh yeah.
Any of the superhero groups that have a cell phone or a phone that rings and there's problems. Help us is generally the gist of how that goes.
The phone with the red light on top of it.
Exactly. Ooh, we should get one.
Okay, yeah. So let's go to a Goodwill
thrift store. Yes, I've been wanting to go thrift store hunting.
That'd be cool.
So, thrift store, garage sale, whatever the donation center, whatever the places are, I want to go start hitting all of them and try to find some old game stuff that is for cheaper than on eBay and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm also looking for a retro TV.
Yeah.
I found the one that I want to get.
What are they called? Something?
Well, CRT.
CRT
is the old one. The one I found, it's a Sony Triniton, I think. And yeah, you can get them on eBay. They're way more expensive because they have upped their prices knowing people are looking for them for this reason. Yeah. But no. So someone's like, go on Facebook Marketplace. So I went on Facebook Marketplace and it was like, we're upgrading my mom's TV, trying to get rid of this. And I'm just like, yes, thank you. That is the cost. Do not inflate it because you know somebody wants it, like $50.
Yes.
As opposed to $200.
Nice.
Or $300. It's like, no.
Because people know that
people want it.
That nerds want it.
Yeah, even though they're not worth that, but whatever. Supply and demand. I did learn that.
I hate that. I mean, I get it, but like, I also hate people that try to like flip stuff.
Yeah. So, for old games and whatnot, because that's
Why don't you just plug in your like NES Classic and just put that like CRT filter on it?
No.
Because you could just do that.
Because I have an N64 and we have a Super Nintendo that aren't pluggable into HDMI. So my Super Nintendo,
that's a very good point.
my N64, and eventually I want to get I'm gonna have the classics and I'm still torn about that. Do I really want to go get a whole NES? Probably not. But maybe.
Is that the one that we saw at that game store that one time? Yeah.
Because the one cool thing about what my memory of the NES, even though I didn't have one, Eden had one.
Mm-hmm.
His dad had one.
Yeah.
And Duck Hunt. And you can only play Duck Hunt on those old TVs. You can't play Duck Hunt on the NES Classic, on anything. So it's like, for stuff like that, getting that true original experience.
Right. I've only played Duck Hunt like at one place, and it was at the...
On a legit...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
My parents used to take me, like, get my pictures taken every year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so they had, like, a room where the kids would, like, just sit and, like, play with stuff. And
that's so that you don't forget what you look like, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because you can...
So I don't forget.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. If you don't take pictures of yourself, you forget who you are.
Right.
It's terrifying.
So they had to document my life through this guy named Joey. And he had Duck Hunt set up.
Sorry.
Not that Joey.
I know.
So yeah, I'm glad I've actually like played it legitimately.
That's cool,
Otherwise,
right?
I don't think I've ever had any experience with Duck Hunt.
I have a cool story.
Shoot. I also have a big update to bring up when you're done, so...
Oh my god, you're pregnant.
Don't let me forget.
No, there's something about that tactile experience of playing an old game, like, actually on the old system, and that is why I want like, Maya picked up the Super Nintendo Classic controller, and she's like, it's not the same. It is, like, basically the same, but she knew instantly, she's like, it's not exactly the same. And I will be the exact same way if they do an N64 Classic. I'm going to hold that controller and be like, it's just slightly off.
Because it's probably a little bit, like, better. You're like, wait, this isn't as crappy as the old one was.
Maybe it's lighter.
Yeah.
And I like some heft. And heft, it makes things feel, like, legit.
Yeah.
But, so, I guess it was on my bucket list, or it was kind of, like, on my list of things I'd never done, and it was Virtual Boy. Virtual Boy was Nintendo's first 3D system.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with what it looks like?
I think so, yeah.
So it has like a little stand that you like look through while you play, and then you like hold the controller down here. Or yeah, you hold the controller, and it's a crazy like... I don't even remember what the controller looks like, but it's more like a PlayStation controller.
Right.
Or like the Boomerang PlayStation concept controller for the PS3. Do you remember that?
Nope.
But when we were in Japan at Super Potato, they had just a Virtual Boy hooked up, and I played it, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Because I knew what it was, I'd heard what it was, everybody said it was bad, but to actually, like, use it and be like, wait, they had this in 95?
It's crazy.
I think, 94, 95. Like, it's just red and black. Those are the only colors.
That sounds cool.
But I played, the game I played was Wario, and it was the sequel to the Game Boy game that I had and played a lot. Wario, I don't remember what it was. Super Mario Land 3, Wario World, something like that. I don't remember.
Okay. So Wario was like the subtitle of the Mario game?
No. The Mario Land 3 was the subtitle of the Wario game.
Oh, okay.
Like Yoshi's Island,
yeah.
Super Mario World 2. I think.
Interesting.
I'm not 100% on the order. But it was legit. You could jump back and forth between the front plane and the back plane.
Yeah.
And it looked 3D. So, I mean, no, you're not. 3 games came out for it, and it was on.
Oh, that was the thing that like failed
on
epically,
sale
right?
for less than a year.
That sucks.
Yeah, but
that's one of those things that's like super cool now, though.
Yeah, not for a lot of people.
Sure,
I found it cool. No,
yeah,
for the right audience.
Things that don't last like that kind of gain like a charm later in life.
They're
like New Coke. New Coke came out in the 80s and it completely failed. They like reverted back to the original recipe in like 6 weeks or something. Stranger Things now, since it's set in the 80s.
They tried to legit.
They made a new recipe,
not
new
like
formula.
Not we have Coke and New Coke.
Nope,
we have
changed
New
the formula.
Coke.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and everyone's
dumb.
like, nah, give us the old stuff.
I could have told you that.
So they went back, but now Stranger Things, since they're so authentically in the 80s, they're like, hey Coke, we're gonna put New Coke in our show, and they're like, awesome, we're gonna make it again.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if people like went crazy for it, but like you could buy New Coke if you want to.
That's how you get people to buy stuff that sucks.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's amazing. I don't think a Virtual Boy Classic would sell though, because it would only have 3 games.
It'd be a cool like.
It'd
be a cool like pop-up thing for them to have at these like things that they do at the Best Buys when they have the like.
There's not a lot of them,
and stuff.
So that would be expensive.
Yeah.
But no, what I always wanted them to do was release the 3 games on 3DS. Hello, like duh.
Yeah.
But they seem to have wanted to distance themselves completely.
Okay, I have a game question to ask you, and then we also had another topic that we were going to bring up. Let's just talk about that, and then I'll ask you something after. GTA came out, or not GTA came out. The update that we've all been waiting for 6 years.
Less than that, because I didn't care about that until I played online, and I didn't play online until PS4, and so I would say 5 years.
Okay.
Probably closer to 4.
A long time.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Years.
They finally released the casino update.
Craziness.
The casino that's just been locked and abandoned. Coming soon.
For 5 years.
Well, for as long as the game's been out. It's said coming soon.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Did you see what they actually did to it?
I have seen nothing.
You didn't look at
Besides
anything?
that trailer that you sent me or whatever.
So yeah, the building is gone. Like they just... I'm pretty sure, based on the pictures I saw, just wiped it and put like boop, and just put a brand new model building, completely new design.
Really?
And everything. Yeah, because the other one was tiny and old and
Ooh, weird.
Gross.
Is the track still there?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I legit don't know. They have horse racing you can watch inside, so I'm assuming.
Very strange.
But they don't have horses,
right?
So, yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited about that.
We gotta check that out maybe tonight.
Maybe
tomorrow.
Tonight. I don't even know if I have that game installed.
I definitely do not have it installed.
So maybe not tonight.
Yeah,
but
maybe another night.
Yeah, we'll play that for sure because they gotta do a heist with that, right?
Oh, I
have to.
I still never finished the heists.
Neither did I. I haven't either.
Goodness.
They're what, 4, 5?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think maybe we should do that.
I'm down to do the heists.
Just the heists, because
we would have to play with probably some randoms online, unless you have friends that would still play it.
Ask 11.
It's kind of a weird question, but I
like weird
I
questions.
thought of it, I think last week or a couple weeks ago, and I just kind of like vaguely wrote down what the question was. But do you think we'll ever get to a point where like every character in these like major video games that come out are actors playing them? The way we see like Keanu in
no,
or
but
like it's gonna happen
keep
more though,
growing.
right?
Oh, it already is, and I can speak to that a little. So the reason is that to me the first game that did it, there's been lots of other games that have done this, but the first game that like nailed it both for the player but also for the actors was Uncharted. And they got all those guys in a studio and they acted everything out. That's one of the first games I remember like really seeing that.
But were they like movie actors though? Or were they video game people? I mean people who aren't in the video game industry being brought in, like Norman Reedus in what's that game called?
No, I know.
What's that game called?
In Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. And Keanu in Cyberpunk, like stuff like that. Like people being brought into the video game world, and I feel like that's to draw more people like to come and play these games. I totally get what you're saying. Like, I'm not saying that those people didn't act in Uncharted.
No,
but
I know.
they're not like.
That's a because what was the how'd you frame the question?
So how much do you think we're gonna see that grow? Like actors being in, celebrities being in video games.
So I think this is where I'm torn. Is like right now, and the way this is phrased is you have to become a movie actor to become legitimate, to then be in a video game to make that video game legitimate on the level of a movie. I think there's gonna be a hybrid where there are gonna be people that want to be video game actors. They won't need a movie to validate them.
So like, what's his name?
So, Nolan North.
Nolan North is like a video game actor.
That's why I used that as an example.
Totally understand that.
Because there's they are the forefront. Nolan North, Troy Baker, those are the two big names. And they're in the Avengers game, both of them.
Oh, okay, cool.
As characters, Nolan North is Iron Man. And so that's why like they didn't go get a movie actor to play Iron Man in the new Avengers game. But in terms of like movie actors integrating into video games, that's what the technology has allowed. And Kojima is a good example of that with Norman Reedus. And I was even thinking, when I was thinking of other games before Uncharted, I was thinking of like the Metal Gear games, which were like movies, but they didn't have big name actors. That's a new thing. And
like another one is Squadron 42, which whenever that comes out, like that has Mark Hamill in it, and we said Henry Cavill we were talking about, like that is like, and Gary Oldman, like that is all actors in that game.
If we use that as an example, that's not new. The technology is new in terms of them being mocapped, but Star Citizen is made by Chris Roberts, who made the original Wing Commander, and those games back in the, I think, 90s had movie actors.
Really?
Mark Hamill was in Wing Commander back in the day.
In the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it was all live action little video clips.
Yeah.
Put in there. So like it's an interesting topic for sure. But in terms of the movie actors joining to get people's attention, I think the Keanu Reeves talked about it, and he said because he was allowed to, it wasn't just do this to get the animation mapped.
Right.
It's be you.
Yeah.
And that's where the talent comes in.
Yeah.
Like these people do have like another level of talent, and now the technology's caught up to where they don't have to do what the tech needs. They can just be them.
Yeah.
And the tech is there. So it's removed that barrier so they can do movie acting essentially.
Well, it's just cool. Like
it's a video game.
If someone's writing this game and they have like an idea of a character in mind based on someone in a movie that they've seen, they're like, I can just get that guy to play this character now too. And I just feel like that's going to happen more and more and more. And maybe it's not even just like a cash grab. They're not doing it just to get more sales, but they're like, I envisioned you in this role.
The technology is allowing that to happen.
Yeah.
I think that's...
I guess I think because, what my original question was like, do you think all these like blockbusters isn't the right word for video game, but like the major games of the year,
blockbusters, for sure.
I envision at some point in the future, like every one of those like main games of the year would have like a person in it that's like a lead actor. You know what I mean?
So my instinct says no, that it'll be here and there.
Yeah.
You look at a game like Horizon Zero Dawn. And Aloy is an incredible original character who is... Because sometimes they model them after the person playing them. But what games allow you to do is not just use a person. So it's interesting because we're getting this for the first time, but also... Do we want that? Is that the best thing?
I think it's awesome.
I think it's really cool, but I wouldn't want to just see... I don't want to see movie actors in all my games. Because then I'm just going to feel like I'm just playing movies.
Yeah.
And it's cool. So that's why, like, definitely... like, I'm excited that Norman Reedus is in Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And that all the Star Citizen cast. But it also starts to feel a little bit like... Like, why are there all these familiar people here?
Yeah.
So I'm torn.
I feel like it definitely is ramping up, though, because like you said, Mark Hamill was in that game in the 90s, but it was just like cutscenes or something. Yeah. I think the first time I noticed it, I forget which Call of Duty game it was, but Kevin Spacey was in it. He was like a commander or something. I don't think he was actually...
Black Ops 2?
Possibly.
I think it was Black Ops 2.
I think it might have also just been cutscenes. He might have actually been like sort of a gameplay character as well.
Yeah.
And it's gone from that to like the main characters of games are these actors down too. Like it's taken like a big couple leaps in a short span of time. So I wonder what the near future looks like for that. But I'm excited to see what it looks like.
It definitely is legitimizing games, and because like the hard thing is like I'm speaking from somebody who's been playing games my entire life and didn't realize until recently that like when I started the industry was not very large.
Yeah.
It always felt like the biggest thing to me because it's the
like
best and my favorite and
cared
whatnot.
about the most.
But the money opportunity out there, it's going to happen more and more.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I don't care. There's so many games at this point that I don't even know what to think about it. I think of Ellen Page and Beyond Two Souls, but like that didn't really add any. Like I don't know. I didn't play it. Like it's not guaranteed that it's gonna make a game better.
Right. And for something like that, like why? Like why did you choose that person? And maybe it's just they saw her in a role that reminded them of that character, and they're like, we should just get her.
And that comes down to a good director.
Yeah.
And if I think about like God of War, that's a 20-30 hour long movie.
Yeah.
With the and here's he wasn't big when he started on God of War as Atreus, but now he is, and I can't think of his name, the child actor that was in mid-90s, and he's been in a few other things now.
Yeah, I don't actually know if I can even pronounce his name. If I could think of it.
He's got like an interesting name, but it's like, yeah, they're actors.
Yeah.
Right.
Who was the God of War guy? What's the main guy's name?
So in Kratos.
Yeah. Sorry.
So I can't think of Judge, Christopher Judge.
Okay. Sonny Suljic.
There it is.
Was the kid.
Yeah. And so like Christopher Judge, like they wanted him, and he was like, I don't know if I want to take this role. Like he's a big deal too, but I don't really know him. So I think it's more about like A-list names and getting like you can even look at the MCU and be like, oh, those movies have now gotten to a point where they're getting
people are begging to be in them.
Big name actors.
Yeah.
And that helps everybody. So it's just going to be a whole mix. But I think it's good. It's definitely, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Get more talent in the industry. Everybody's just going to learn from everybody, and we'll get better stuff. And I don't know. Maybe when we make our game, we'll think of somebody because we saw them in a movie, and they'll help bring that to life.
Maybe you have a connection. We can get Mark Hamill possibly. So
oh my God.
We'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
I have one other quick little gaming thing. It's an announcement, something I'm proud of. I won my first race in online CTR.
Oh my God.
And it was glorious.
Oh.
I recorded it. I might. Maybe you're looking at it right now. If you're watching the video podcast, I might have a little clip of me actually winning. But it was
awesome.
a struggle.
It was intense. Was it like right down to the last second?
Yeah.
Too? Oh my God.
It was me and one person like very close to each other. I might have won like within a second.
Do you have the time?
Not
off the top of your head, but we can check it.
Yeah.
For like how many?
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah.
It was for sure close.
That's crazy.
I think.
What was the map?
Don't even remember.
It was
I was very in it.
There is a point in that game where I feel like you just see boosts and ramps and items.
Dude,
and
I was so honed in.
You lose the level.
Yep.
You're just jump, turn, drift, item.
Like everything turns to gray, and you can just see this like green line of like how to optimize it, and that's exactly what I was doing. I was very proud of myself. Only time I've ever won. Haven't won since. I've done a lot of races since, and I've come in last sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
tough.
It's a very difficult game.
It's tough. I got third.
You got second last night even too.
I think I just got third.
Really?
Yeah, I think I just got third because I don't remember being on the left side of the podium.
Okay.
But I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
That game is rough.
Yeah, it's tough. When people are finishing 30 seconds before second place.
Yeah.
And not even second place can finish. You might have a problem.
I don't like. How do you balance it though?
You kick them. You do
don't
not
kick
allow them to play.
You have rankings.
Because I would love to see a race between 10 of those people.
Yeah.
What would that look like?
That'd be nuts. It's not even fun for them.
At
this point, you know what I mean? Like
would it be 10 like would it be 10 people neck to neck at that time?
The items would separate them a little bit, but it would be crazy. But what I'm saying is, like, the way it is now, it's not fun for anybody.
No.
Because I'm sure they get some enjoyment out of just, like, killing everybody, but, like, there is some fun in competitiveness. So if you had some kind of ladder system, everyone could enjoy it because every race would be closer. They gotta do that. I feel like they gotta do that at some point. Mario doesn't have that, though, does it? Mario Kart? I don't think it does, but it's just more balanced.
I mean, Mario still has that problem where, like, really, really good people win.
For sure.
But it doesn't feel like it. Like, it feels like you have a chance at maybe them not winning.
Yeah. I feel like out of every 10 races, I could maybe win one.
Yeah.
Don't feel that way in CTR.
Damn. Yeah. I don't feel like I can win. Period.
You just keep playing. You'll win one. It's a good feeling.
No, I will. It's got to be the right map and the right things if it got to happen. So
yes. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some movie-related topics. And, stay tuned.
Other stuff.
Hey, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Ethan.
And if you're enjoying the podcast, we'd really appreciate it if you would consider supporting us on Patreon.
For just $1, you can get access to a longer version of our podcast, including bonus content and possibly even a personal thank you from us.
Of course, you can continue to enjoy the podcast for free on YouTube or your favorite podcast service. You can also catch our content on HuberRebels.com.
So thanks for listening, and back to the show.
Alrighty, we are back from our break, and I have breaking news. It's something we've all been waiting for. It's a major announcement. It's fantastic. I got my watch to stop yelling at me.
Dork.
It doesn't do it anymore.
Why?
Every single hour.
That's really sad.
No, it's not. It's fantastic. It's glorious. My life is peaceful again.
I'm imagining you at work and somebody comes up and it's just like, dork! And they're just like, what just happened?
It was making me rageful. Because every single hour at home, when I heard it from across the room, yelling it, I would yell back at my watch, like, shut up! I hate you!
And it's not like Siri, where she's like, that's not nice.
Nope. It just takes it and does it again an hour later.
It's probably laughing inside.
So I called Nixon yesterday.
Oh, to figure out how to do it. Oh my god.
And a girl answered, and I explained the problem to her, and she laughed. Supportively. It was like a supportive laugh.
She should have called you a dork.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
Because it would have been funny.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been mean.
So the way she helped me was, can I get your name and email address again? I'm like, I never gave you either of those. Neither of those are necessary for you to tell me how to turn this off of one of your watches.
For a support ticket, you need those.
That's okay. That's true. All right, never mind. That's fair.
Oh, I thought you were going there with that.
No,
that's why I'm assuming she asked for that.
That's true. She wanted to make sure, like, I gave her a good review or something.
No, you have to put that in the system. When I did support, that's what you have to get their name.
Even if it's something as simple as
because. It depends on the company, but they do that because if you call back, then there's a record, and it's like, oh yeah, that's how one company did it. I think that's in general how they do it.
Fair enough.
Just so you know, for future reference. It's weird though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she says, okay, so what you're gonna do is you see the button on the top right, you're gonna press and hold that. I'm like, that's it? She's like, yep, you're all good. I'm like, I don't remember doing that in the first place. It's really upsetting that it's been that easy this entire time. I could have sworn I tried that.
That's annoying.
Yep. So my watch is all fixed now.
Did she explain?
Explain what?
Why?
I don't know. It's just a feature.
Do it back and see if it says dork. Real quick.
It'll do it in a few minutes, yeah.
Well, no, because look.
What?
We have 1 minute.
You're looking at it upside down.
Oh, I am. 4 minutes. I want to see if it does it in 4 minutes.
It will.
Have you tested it, like...
Well,
off and on again?
There's a light that turns off.
Oh.
There's a little symbol and a little unrecognizable symbol.
Okay, so there's an indicator that it's activated.
There is.
Oh, okay.
But I had never noticed if that was there or not before, so I just didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
But my life is calm again.
That's nice. And you're not being insulted.
Exactly. On to movies.
before we get to movies.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Oh, yes, you had a question.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
When are we going to SpaceX? I'm putting you on the spot right now, and I'm putting a date in my...
Because we were going to do that, weren't we?
Because it's been months.
That's true.
Yeah.
Honestly, I forgot.
Have it on my...
If you had brought it up weeks ago, we probably would have done it by now.
I haven't had time. I've been so busy.
Well, let's talk about why we want to go to SpaceX.
To get a beer.
At SpaceX?
Next to SpaceX.
Do you have a place in mind?
Yeah, there's a brewery right next door.
Which one?
I don't know.
Oh.
But there's one right next door or right around the corner.
Is there like a window that like looks at the...
I don't think so. But I just thought it would be. Rather than, all right, we're here. All right, let's leave.
Like a field trip for a third grader during the summer.
Wait, which one is I don't think third graders get beer during the summer. I want to make it more like a field trip because it won't be a field. It would be a field trip where you show up to the museum. You're like, all right, back on the bus, let's go. That's not a field trip.
No, I'm thinking of like a parent's field trip for their kid. You know, like I assume when we have kids, we'll plan like outings.
Disclaimer:
for the summer.
We are not having kids.
That still didn't really clear anything up. Just saying we for people who are listening, like
together.
You and I
are not having kids. Children together.
Yes,
that's not happening.
We are not.
It sounded like that. When we have kids.
What I'm talking about is parents when their kids are home for the summer.
Yes.
They want to get them out and doing things, so they'll go on like a field trip to maybe SpaceX. Well, they'll like drive by and like let the kids see a rocket. It's not that exciting. They're not gonna like maybe go on a tour or anything, but the kids saw a rocket and then they'll get lunch and go home. Something like that.
Did I do any? I don't know if I did anything like that.
My
mom didn't take me. There it was. That's what I wanted because we forgot.
I forgot about it.
And I wasn't even going to say, watch will forget, because then you'd be thinking about it. I was like, he'll forget. And I forgot too.
You know what it is? It's a watch we forgot. He said watch we'll forget. It's a watch we forgot.
Oh my God. Okay. I was like, I'm not getting it.
I'm turning it off. I'm never turning it back on again.
Yeah, it was just that one last time.
It's off.
I didn't even hear it. It was just, I knew it.
You didn't do that because you had different summers from everybody else.
My summer was coming home.
Your summer was coming home and enjoying that.
No, I don't. My people never took me anywhere. I feel like...
I'm not saying everyone had it, but like I definitely... I think that's a thing.
No, that's cool.
I had a teacher in high school where she planned like alphabet field trips. So like during summer they did like 26 like outings and they were like attributed to like, you know, A, so they went to... I'll skip A, I'll go to Z. They went to the zoo. Like that, you know what I mean?
What was A? What was A?
Aquarium.
Okay. Those are both cool.
Yeah.
And animals.
Yeah.
Wow. The alphabet starts and ends with animals.
Yes, it does.
Oh, now you know.
If you choose for it to.
I mean, I'm assuming there's an animal with every letter, so the whole alphabet is animals, but I digress.
Right. Movies. I only have seen one movie since we last sat down to this podcast, and it wasn't even in theaters. It was at home. It was, speaking of SpaceX, sort of, the anniversary of the moon landing.
Apollo.
So my parents and I watched Apollo 11.
Oh, like the
documentary.
That's the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Which documentary?
The one that we saw.
It's out?
It's on Hulu.
What? The one we saw in IMAX?
Yeah.
I'm really upset they didn't re-release that. I could have sworn
they should have.
They were doing a wide release in IMAX on the 50th anniversary. Like, it was going to be out for a month.
Yeah.
Right around now.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was a 2-day release in February, or whenever it was that we saw that. It actually upsets me a little bit. But mainly because of how good it was. And I want to see
it's one of my favorite movies of the year, by far.
It's one of my favorite movies. Like, experiences, like... I love history. It was real. Knowing everything you're seeing is real.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine.
The funny thing is some people don't know that, but...
You mean some people are stupid?
Yes.
Don't feel bad saying that.
I don't either.
Nope. Regardless.
I love how Buzz Aldrin will beat people up if they say it was fake.
Oh, yeah. I would too! Oh my...
I would root for him. If I ever saw him on the street beating someone up with his cane.
Full disclosure, I went my whole life, I was like, yeah, we landed on the moon. High school comes around. I was watching TV, and a documentary came on about how it didn't happen. And I was like, huh? There's what? That's a possibility?
Right.
And I was like, okay. I mean, this was like the first time I'd ever come across something like this. I was still a young mind. And I watched the whole thing and I was like, oh my God, did we not land on the moon? Like, that's...
Like, you kind of questioned it for like a second?
No, for a while.
Oh, wow.
Because, again, I was young. I didn't have cross information. I saw a documentary well produced by people that believed this, that used all of their reasons.
And you're still impressionable, so it like kind of stuck.
Yeah, and exactly. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm still learning. I guess I didn't know that. I didn't know that was even a possibility.
Right.
And then obviously enough time goes by and I'm just like, oh, no, they were dumb.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
You guys suck.
The earth is not flat, etc., etc. People just want to control their world for whatever reason and try to think they're right about something. Regardless. Greatest achievement in human
they're the
history.
ultimate contrarians. They just like to be on the opposite side of things that people...
That's definitely part of it.
That are either just absolutely factual or something that people love, and they're like, nah, I'm going to go over here.
Yeah.
So
people like to do that.
I love the moon landing. Like, I wasn't obviously alive for it, but like I'm super proud of the fact that it happened, and it's such a cool occasion. So
you like the greatest achievement in human history?
Yeah.
I'm a fan too. And that movie hit it home.
Don't belittle that. Like, some people aren't that into space or something. Like,
yes, and I judge all of them. Seriously.
I know.
Like,
I'm just
full
saying,
disclosure.
Like, I'm so into space. Like, I love that entire...
Oh, I see
thing.
what you mean by belittling. No. I wasn't belittling that. I was trying to just emphasize that this thing is...
It's incredible.
It's insane.
Yeah.
That wasn't about you.
My dad was watching it, and he's like, I'm still blown away that they could do this.
It's more amazing now.
Yeah.
Because... I would say for two reasons. One, because you see how they did it with what little technology now that we have phones in our pocket, and you're like, oh my... It gives you kind of context. And two, because it hasn't been done since.
All the technology that we have, and we haven't done much more.
Nope.
If anything.
I forget the quote, but it was like $200 billion went into that.
That project?
Yeah.
Apollo 11.
And NASA's budget to get it done was 4% of the entire national budget. Maybe it was even higher. I know 4% sounds like a low number, but I don't think it's that high now.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like it may 4 sounds wrong, sounds low.
No, that's huge.
I want to say
that seems huge.
10%. Honestly,
that's enormous. That's insane. 10% of the money that the country was going to be spending was going to go towards that. I'm not saying it wasn't like important or a big deal, but that's massive.
Need to. I have to check this.
Okay.
2%.
Okay. Yeah.
So the 4% was close.
Yes.
And it might have been. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was in 1965. 2%. The peak was 4.4%. See, I did remember correctly. Yeah. And they said that will never happen again. Never happen again, because it was just this moment in time. Incredible that we pulled that off.
The part that gets me the most is when they replay what JFK said when he announced like that this was gonna be the plan.
When he said that, everybody that was then tasked was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Nobody thought they could do it.
But they got behind him and did it.
It took the country.
Yeah.
Working together.
Right.
To pull this off. It upsets me because it shows what we're capable of. And just frustrates me that we don't keep pushing to that same degree.
But this is why I love Elon Musk, because like he wants to do new things.
I love that you said that, because I just watched the thing today, and it was, what does he believe like the greatest thing or next thing for mankind is? And it's space, obviously. And he said like without Apollo 11, he doesn't think SpaceX would exist necessarily.
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah, it's a cool kind of concept to think about, but it's reality, and I'm just excited. 2 years, he said, landing on the moon.
I believe it.
And that was from like 2-3 days ago.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah. So he thinks within 2 years.
Dude, I can't wait for that.
I know. And then that'll be uncrewed.
I was gonna say, is that manned or?
That's uncrewed.
Okay.
And then the Japanese, I think he was Japanese guy who signed up to be the first. He bought that first shuttle.
Yeah.
He's gonna sail.
That's not to the moon, right? That's just to orbit the Earth.
Around
the moon.
Around the moon.
Oh my god!
That's
but
why
not land.
It's mind blowing. No, not landing.
Yeah.
But like to go that far from Earth.
Yeah.
To have a bunch of civilians.
A civilian. Yeah.
Not a civilian.
Civilian.
Because he's gonna get artists and musicians.
But not
all of
astronauts. They're just gonna. Are they gonna have to train at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Extensively.
Okay.
And then
what?
They'll have
just to deal with the launching.
No, and being in zero gravity and all that. Because it's like a week.
Is there gonna be anyone on the ship controlling it? Like there'll be astronauts.
There will be
on
astronauts.
it, right?
There'll be crew.
It's not like a robotic.
No,
ship.
there will be crew.
Okay.
Most stuff will be automated though, I think. So it's just like think of 2001.
Right.
Where they're just kind of.
How comfortable do you think it'll be inside that ship?
Extremely.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna be floating around and.
Will it seem like a living quarters, do you think?
Oh,
or like a ship with a bunch of technology in it? Because you see the footage from like the Apollo missions or like the space shuttles, and even those, it seems like you're living amongst a lot of technology that you probably don't want to bump into. And I imagine Elon Musk will have it all contained and clean and like sleek.
Have you seen the inside of the Dragon capsule?
I don't think so.
I got to show you these pictures. So the inside of the Dragon capsule, I can even just describe it.
Yeah.
It's one touchscreen panel.
Like the wall?
They're sitting in their seats.
Yeah.
And there's just one touchscreen panel.
In front of them?
Yeah.
Like where? What are you talking about?
They can reach out and touch it.
Okay.
Like 2 seats.
Yeah.
And they can just go boop boop and control everything.
Nice.
There's not buttons everywhere.
Why? Yeah. There's probably wires, but
one touchsime panel.
Yeah.
I don't think there's wires.
Not that you can see. There has to be wires.
Oh well, no, everything's behind the scenes.
Right.
But let me.
That's amazing.
It's the future. But yeah, Starship is going to be. I mean, they're going to have rec rooms and living quarters. It's going to be like being on like a boat, I would say, more than an airplane. Crazy stuff. Virgin is launching. Since we're talking about space, Virgin's launching their space tourism this year too.
This year?
This year, they're going to have a tourist in space by the end of this year, I think.
What?
Yeah, that's going. Theirs is a little different because it's a rocket going into the.
It just kind of hovers, right? Like just kind of like bounces in the atmosphere. Still amazing though. Yeah. I would love to do that as well.
In terms of space movies, Ad Astra.
Can't wait.
I'm super excited for that.
Me too.
That should be good. I haven't even watched the trailer, I don't think.
I have seen a trailer. It was not. It's different than I was expecting, but it still looks really cool.
It's Brad Pitt Interstellar is what I'm. That's my. Yeah. That's my envisioning of it.
Which. I hope it's better than Interstellar. Interstellar is good, but it was a bit crazy.
Which I love.
I would like a little bit less crazy. It was like Christopher Nolan just trying to completely scramble your brain.
It's so tough because we don't know what black holes are. Yeah. And our little human brains. That's why I loved 2001 so much. Because
I loved it until the end when it got
the end. No,
insane.
I was thinking of the end when I said that because most of that movie is like, oh, we're human apes. We understand it's a box and people are in it and it goes into space. And then all of a sudden it's this thing that breaks all of our conventions of understanding of reality. Mm-hmm. And I like exploring that kind of stuff because we don't know. So it's what can you come up with? Right. Can we even comprehend it, even if it was directly in front of us? Probably not.
That's true.
So, and it's unsettling because we can't comprehend it. Right. So
that's a good point.
Definitely unsettling. I'm not saying this is like some comfortable thing. Like I think that's where that I feel weird about it comes from.
Yeah, I just remember having a weird feeling after Interstellar. Yep. It was like, what are we going for with that? Got weird. But it was really well made. Like, and it was crazy. Yep. It accomplished that.
I always just think of the wave planet.
Oh gosh. Yep. Terrifying.
Not just the waves, but the time difference.
Yep. Also equally terrifying as the giant waves.
And that's real.
It's the idea
that's all real.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't like that.
Yeah. It's all a construct.
Not a good thing.
We live in a solid construct, so everything's comfortable for us.
Yes.
For the most part. Did your parents like the Apollo 11 doc?
Yes. So the only thing they didn't like, two things. Yeah. Actually, they're related. It's something I don't think we noticed because we saw it in IMAX on the giant screen. Okay. but the words that they put on the screen for that movie are
tiny,
microscopic.
Yeah, I can.
And when I was watching it initially for the second time, I'm like, oh, he's trying not to distract. Like, it's just like kind of a little thing. But if you are a little bit older and don't have perfect vision anymore, you can't read it. It's insane. Like, it's so unbelievably small. And my dad also said, he's like, I couldn't understand what they were saying a lot of the time. He said subtitles would have been appreciated, and the fact that he made the like the days and the times and like the fuel, those things so small, it for some reason he didn't want to have words on the screen, so he chose not to do subtitles. Whoever the director is, I'm just using like a generic, but that was just kind of weird. That stuff could have been added for like a quality of life kind of thing, but
it's not a movie that was made for home, I guess.
No.
And I'm actually hesitant to watch it again because Saturn V, the rocket that went, was so, and still known for its size. And did you see they did the projection on the Washington Monument?
No.
For the anniversary, they did a projection on the Washington Monument in D.C. of Saturn V, like the whole thing.
That's awesome.
And like taking off and everything.
Oh, that's so cool.
I wish I could have been there for that because that would have been cool to see. But I mean, we've got videos, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that movie was made for IMAX.
It was made for IMAX, and I'm assuming they didn't want to compromise, which is why they didn't do that. Because I agree, like, have a home version then.
Sure.
Where it's easier because they have to know that it's hard to see.
Just blow it up a little bit. And honestly, I'm with my dad. Subtitles in some places would have been appreciated because it's a lot of mumbling and multiple people talking at once.
Yeah.
It's like, I get this is what it was at the time.
Yeah, maybe you're not supposed to know what they're saying. I don't remember it enough to...
It's possible that it's so indistinguishable that they don't even know what they're saying. That's very possible.
That I can't remember,
but
exactly. Because I remember listening to conversations.
Yeah, some of it is
feeling like I was there.
Yeah.
So I'll have to watch it again, especially since it's on Hulu.
But yeah, so I just wanted to do that on the 50th anniversary day because I thought that was appropriate.
No, that's smart.
It was cool.
I didn't even know it was on there. I'll tell my grandma to watch it.
Yeah. Another monumental occasion this week.
Damn. Bring it on. Didn't watch that.
Have I seen that? I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Is that the dancing one or the drumming one?
Cheerleading.
Have not seen that.
Okay.
I think I've seen the Nick Cannon
Kirsten
drum
Dunst.
line.
I've not seen that.
I've seen whatever.
Whatever.
Avengers Endgame is the new number 1. You did it. In a reasonable time as well.
Oh, yeah.
Not a year. Did it in like 2 months.
100% valid.
Yep.
Asterisk, not with inflation accounted for.
Correct.
But that's okay.
Totally
because Avatar's not number 1 with
inflation. No, it's not.
No, it's still Gone with the Wind, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And probably always will be. I
wait till we have 10 billion people.
No.
Wait till we have 10 billion people. And with inflation,
we have insanely more people than we did then.
Avengers got close. For a comic book movie, it got close.
Well, but it hasn't even beaten Avatar for inflation, so it's not like it's like almost first with inflation.
But you'd need a magnitude greater. Like, it can't be something similar to Avengers. It has to be something of magnitude higher. Be that it's not anything we can conceive right now.
Sure. But it has to be like a new Avatar, because Avatar was something completely new.
It can't even be Avatar 2, 3, 4. It has to be.
That's how I meant. But you know how Avatar was something brand new for its time? It has to be that again.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, Avatar 2 can't. No. Even though it's going to be 10 years later and new technology and huge, the combination of 3D and blah, 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 and all of that contributed to that, no, it would need to be. It's going to need to be the new Star Wars, Avengers, Avatar combined,
like world, like the new like genre.
Yeah, it's so I don't even know.
I think it's possible that the new Avatar movies could break the record.
I think it'll
overall.
I think it'll
not
top
inflation though.
Avengers. Yeah. Oh yeah. Avengers is not holding that for long. I don't think.
The only thing I can see beating it is the Avatar movies.
Star Wars.
No.
If the hype is there. If the hype is there, and they're like, if you were there in 1977, if you were 79, if you were there in 1981, if you were there in 1983, if you were there in 1999, if you were there in 2003, if you were there in 2005, if you were there in 2015, or if you were there in 2017, just one of those, you come to this movie. If it's that kind of a movie this December, and all the stars align, because Last Jedi, there was stuff said about it. Force Awakens, huge, but still some stuff said about it. It's just like Episode 4. I disagree with that, but maybe.
I would love it. I mean,
maybe.
Star Wars is more dear to my heart than the Marvel movies are. I would love to see Star Wars be the top.
I think it has a chance.
For some reason, I just don't think the world will rally around it as much as they did for Endgame.
And that's going to be... The difference is there's Marvel movies all the time.
They have momentum.
So they have
insane momentum.
The momentum.
Star Wars does not.
This now.
If they do, it's going down.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why like Force Awakens was like the hype. If they market this correctly, it could work. I don't think it will, but it's the closest thing to having a shot.
I could see it maybe being the highest grossing Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I think that's a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Although, no, I'm thinking of adjusted with inflation. So Star Wars is still ahead of Avengers.
The original.
Yep.
For inflation.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
So that's what it would have to
That's what I'm saying. Endgame, I don't even really got close.
Avatar and Star Wars. Both movies off hype.
I wouldn't have thought Gone with the Wind would be a big overseas hit.
It was... I read about that. That was a global happening.
Really?
That was like the first movie. Like, the movie. That every human saw. It was like on that kind of a level, I've heard.
It's also 4 hours long.
Yeah, so which is nuts. Didn't watch any movies over the weekend or last week, but I did watch some stuff last night actually.
What'd you watch?
The Polka King, I believe is what it's called.
Like Polka?
Yes, starring Jack Black.
Oh, okay,
on Netflix. Have you seen that on there?
I think I have, yeah.
Have you watched it?
No.
It's a biopic.
Mm-hmm.
I love biopic movies. That's like possibly my favorite genre.
Yep.
Because I like to learn about people. And boy, oh boy. So what I like to do first is watch the actor-made version. That's a weird way to phrase that. And then the documentary.
Biopic is the word you would say.
Yeah, I didn't want to say biopic.
Biopic.
Biopsy is what I always think of when I say
biopic is not a documentary. It's a movie. It's a recreated like something. So
I watched the biopic on John Lewon, who was a Polish polka act, and played by Jack Black, and it was about how he got caught up in a Ponzi scheme, and I was like, this seems interesting. And I love Jack Black, especially with Jablinski Games. Shout out to Jablinski. I'm a Jable. Are you a Jable? I don't think you're a Jable.
I was a Jable before Jablinski Games was a thing.
That's not possible.
It is.
What's a Jable?
I don't know, but I heard him sing it in a song, a Tenacious D song. So I've known the word for a while.
That's funny. That must be where he pulled that from. He's great though.
I think one of the characters in that movie was named Jables.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was just about this Polish. He came from Poland. I learned more about his story watching the documentary. I didn't finish the documentary.
Was it also on Netflix?
Yeah, they're both on Netflix.
Cool.
And he basically came to America. He wanted to be famous, and he was going to do...
As a polka musician?
No, just he wanted to be famous.
Okay.
His life dream was to be... And polka was his thing. So yeah, essentially like be a famous polka singer. But it wasn't like... so much just about being the polka singer. Like, I want to be the greatest basketball player. I want to be the greatest musician. He just wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
And great. And he wanted to have his own vodka and his own line of this and that. He wanted to have an empire.
Yeah.
That was what he wanted to do. And he was going to do that by any means necessary. And he essentially started selling promissory notes, which are IOUs. Mm-hmm. However, he wasn't registered, and so it snowballed. And
I owe you for what?
Like, invest in my company.
Okay.
And I owe you.
So, but invest in him. Not even like a company, right? Like.
And should I talk about, like...
Yeah.
So...
I mean, it's a real thing, so...
I'd recommend it. It was enjoyable enough, like, just to throw on. I was cleaning and doing whatnot. But he was honest with these people. It was an investment in him. Like, you kind of nailed it. Yeah. He didn't say it was for anything else. It was for his polka company, band, and he had a gift shop.
Okay.
That sold, like, Polish gifts and stuff.
Right.
And he put that as the business. And the kicker was he was giving 12% interest. Which is insane. If banks give you nothing.
Yeah.
And so
how much were people giving him?
Oh, I mean, it started from 10,000 to 20,000 to 50,000 and more money.
12% like a year?
I don't remember what it was. God. I don't remember what the time period was. And his client base was all the people that would come to his polka events.
Uh-huh.
And he got kind of notorious. He was, I genuinely believe he was a good person.
Sure.
That really, really wanted to make something happen and was going to do whatever it took. And
quick question.
Yeah.
What year is this?
This was like early 90s.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
And his client base was elderly.
Okay.
And so you could kind of say he was preying on them, but they loved him. They assumed...
It wasn't malicious. It was just... He found his, like, niche audience.
He found his loophole. And...
But he still owed them a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. And he faced the consequences for that.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing was that, like... And they did mention this in the movie, is... These people chose to invest. They saw 12% and were like, I can make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Not once did they think and say, is this a good idea? Does this make sense? It was just, ooh, I can get a lot of money.
I wouldn't do it because I would know I'm ruining that person's life. If I do that, like, I would be breaking that person. If I'm investing in him, knowing that I'll get that money plus 12% back, it would ruin that person.
But they didn't. They assumed he was rich.
They believed in him. Okay, so they weren't doing it just to get money. Well, I guess they were doing it to get money back.
No, they were doing it to get money back, and they justified it to themselves. He would
have the money.
Yeah,
and because regardless, if you invest, you're gonna get that money back whether he has it.
Do you know how a Ponzi scheme works?
It's like a pyramid scheme, right?
So you know how that works?
Yeah.
It's all based on people continuing to sign up
to give you money, and then they give them money, and then they give them money.
So he takes the money from the new people, gives it to the old people, then gets more new people, and gives the new money to those newer, the slightly older people, and eventually it runs out. If people lose confidence and want all their money back,
right?
Then it's like, oh, I don't actually have it,
right?
And so it's like
a run on the bank. It's like you never want that to.
They got enough, payments back that they were like, oh, this is great. I'm just going to reinvest that money. So then, just put those numbers back in. And he pulled it off for a while.
Wow.
And it was fascinating.
But he really was doing it to, just try and make his dream work.
Yeah. And he was busting his ass. He didn't sleep. He was working all day to make this happen.
Wow.
And... It was fascinating.
That's
way
crazy.
More fascinating than I was expecting.
I'm going to watch that.
I would, and it's just Jack Black. I love Jack Black, and he kills it. And there's some really cool stuff in there where you're like, oh my god, did this really happen?
I forget. Did you say he moved here? He moved to America?
Yeah.
Or all this was.
So they don't talk about this in the movie. They mention this in the documentary, but somebody said he got a chance to go to Canada. He always wanted out of Poland. This was post-communist Poland.
Yeah.
I lived there.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about the history. You didn't have a lot of opportunities. He wanted to get out and have opportunities. And he got on some kind of a trip to Canada and was like, I ain't going back. And stayed.
Nice.
Like, I can't fathom that.
Oh, so this all takes place in Canada?
No.
Oh, and then he came here.
And then he came here once that wasn't really... I mean, he struggled. He did every odd job you had to do to stay afloat, to keep his dream alive. I personally couldn't do what he did because the anxiety and the stress would kill me.
Yeah.
But man,
there's no time to relax.
He was determined. No, and you have to hide all this stuff, and again, he wasn't trying to be malicious.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the people that had their money taken don't feel like that. But hey,
I mean, he didn't do it the correct way, but
your decision.
He was trying, yeah.
At the end of the day, you chose to put your money into an investment that, if you had thought about, didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But they loved him. Oh, they loved him, and he loved them, and he just wants to make people happy.
I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, that
sounds really cool.
It surprised me. Like, it's a hard movie to recommend because it's such a weird concept and such a weird topic.
You sold it though.
Polka music.
The Polka King.
I hate polka music.
I think it's funny. I kind of like it.
Like, this movie made me like tolerate it.
Polka's kind of like a German thing, right? Or is it just that sort of region of Europe?
I think it's just that region.
Yeah.
And man, he became the Polka King.
Kind of, good for him, sort of.
It's a fascinating story. It's stories like that makes me realize, like, there is no rule book
to life. Yeah,
technically there is a rule book that people have made, but you don't have to follow it.
Not at all.
You don't have to follow the rules. You're not code in a computer.
You can weave in and out of that if you can figure it out.
If you can figure it out. I don't know if I can handle that, but like, look, we're making a podcast because we decided to make a podcast.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
It's following the rules, though. As far as I know, I don't think we're breaking any laws.
We might be illegal yet.
I hope not.
Do you want to invest in us? I can give you a promissory note. So yeah, I wasn't expecting to do that. I still got to finish the documentary.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was good. So check it out.
Cool.
One other big thing that happened over the weekend: Comic-Con. More specifically, Hall H and the Marvel Studios panel with Kevin Feige, and which I didn't realize that was the woman asking the questions, Jessica Chobot.
I heard kind of funny saying that they knew her. I don't think I know who she is.
She used to work at IGN.
Okay.
She was like one of the first big IGN girls.
Yeah.
I hate calling her an IGN girl, but she was like...
That kind of was a thing, right?
They do that. They still do.
Okay,
They have a new girl that looks like her.
Like Alana was one of them, right?
No.
No?
No. She was a podcaster and reviewer in video content.
Oh, okay.
But there's like... They have the person that does...
They're like professional, like on-screen, like...
They do like these news blips.
Yeah.
And like, coming at you from here. We're here today, like that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I no disrespect.
They're like in front of the camera with like kind of a blurry office behind them, like giving you the news kind of a thing.
That's exactly what it is.
Gotcha.
And they've had a few people. I do not want to do that. But yeah, so she hosted that, and they kind of blew it out with Phase 4. Like, I think
more than some people were expecting.
I think they exceeded expectations. There was some stuff expected, but then they really hit us with some other stuff. So
I think the thing that they really surprised people about, including me, was how important the shows are going to be.
I had been getting that vibe just on how they've been I've been obsessed with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So like hearing about The Mandalorian, and I was knowing they've been wanting to do a Star Wars TV show for so long, but that George Lucas was waiting till the quality got to the right point. And then I was like, they're doing live action on Disney Plus. Oh, okay. But then I'm with you. This made it like, oh no. It's still kind of hard to wrap my head around.
Well, so the interesting thing, and I don't think this is like confirmed or anything, I've just heard people talk about this. I thought that these shows were going to be like seasons, and I'm kind of thinking now that it's going to be like a mini-series. Because they tie into movies and like they're kind of a connector thing so much, I don't see how they can be...
That's a very good point.
Something that goes on indefinitely. I feel like they have a plan for like 8 episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that'll lead into a movie, and then that might be done.
That's why it's going to work.
Yes.
That's why it's going to work.
Exactly.
I didn't really think about it like that. I hadn't been thinking about like, oh, I can't wait for season 1 and season 2.
Because
I've just been thinking about it as a show.
You're right.
And I think you're probably right.
Because things get old.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times companies don't know when to just let it die.
And this...
Walking Dead.
I mean, I never got into the Netflix Marvel shows.
No.
Because I was like, I don't want to watch seasons and... I don't like seasons and seasons of TV shows.
I don't either.
Quality's not as good.
Unless it's fantastic.
And it never is.
Like, well, not for Marvel, but sometimes. Like Breaking Bad.
No.
Outstanding.
On one hand, I could probably count the number of legit cinema quality...
shows.
Multi-season shows.
Exactly.
Lost.
Yep.
Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Walking Dead, the first few seasons.
I would say House of Cards was one of them for me.
House of Cards is really good.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And, I mean, those are more recent examples. Obviously, there's more than 5.
Sure.
But, yeah, I ain't watching these binge shows.
Well, the thing that comforts me is knowing that those shows previously aren't canon. Like, they're not MCU.
Now, they haven't officially said that.
Not officially, but
I really want them to decanonize.
Oh, me too.
All of it.
Because I never want to watch them.
And I want to... I mean, I'm never going to watch them already.
Yeah.
But I want to forget they exist.
The only one I would consider is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I feel like that one's respectable.
And even then, they're weird about the canon.
Right.
Like, they're so weird about tying it into... and that alone, that hesitation... The fact that people were like, "Ooh, are they going to reference the snap?"
Didn't they reference like Sokovia?
And then they do stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, they'll do like a one-off reference, but not like the massive things.
Right.
And I'm just like, it feels like you're limited, and so this doesn't count to me. Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars, never felt like that.
Nope, 100% canon.
And that's why I enjoy them.
Yeah.
So
I'm unbelievably stoked for these shows now. So what are the shows? There's Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Loki,
WandaVision,
Hawkeye, and What If?
Oh, that's
which
so good.
Didn't realize until after the presentation is going to be animated.
Yep.
And Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher.
The Watcher
is a great idea. And here's my theory: I think he shows up in the MCU at some point. I think they have him as an animated character in this What If show, and then because they're still getting weird with the MCU.
Oh yeah. Down
the line, they bring him in as him.
Well, the Watcher is a character.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, he's gonna be perfect, and then I was like, oh, it's he's just gonna do the voice. I want them to actually bring him in
as like a celestial or something.
Yeah, and I think
whatever
they will.
the Watcher is.
Whatever he is, I think, and I think they'll do that at some point.
I was hearing people reference it like this is going to be like Marvel's version of the Twilight Zone, sort of, where it has like this kind of host and narrator that like gives you these sort of weird scenarios. Oh, I can't.
And they've
wait.
Got everybody. They've got all the big names.
Yeah.
All of this, and I know this might sound crazy, I'm holding out hope that we will see Robert Downey Jr. in the MCU again.
Yeah, I do believe it will happen again.
I think he'll do a cameo or something. Yeah. No, he's not coming back, but in terms of him going into a studio and doing new content, I think he will at some point do that.
For anyone who doesn't know what the What If show is, it's going to be... So, like he said, it's animated. It's animated. Animated. But it's going to take scenarios from the MCU, but, like, do it differently. Like, what if this happened instead? So, like, one episode that they've confirmed is what if Peggy was the superhuman... superhero.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah, I think that's the first one.
Oh my god,
instead of Captain America.
Sign me up.
It's going to be stuff like that. Like, just a little twist on, like, stuff that we know happened.
That sounds really good. I'm wondering if they're going to take... Because that's, like, drastic. I
think they will all be drastic.
Because, like, is it... Like... Oh, I can't even speculate. I'm trying to think, like...
Because that's more than just like an opposite kind of thing. Like that's a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
That's more than saying like, what if Thanos won instead, or
yes,
like what if so and so succeeded instead of not. That's like a completely different.
That's what I was hoping it wasn't gonna be.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's boring.
It is boring.
So I mean, they could really do anything.
Yeah.
Somebody said this will be their opportunity to really draw from the comics with some of the weird stories they have.
Mm-hmm. Like, I would love to see if, like, what if one character continued to be dark instead of being, like, saved and, like, became a superhero? Like, what if they kept being... Like, Scarlet Witch or something. Like, what if she continued to just be...
Was she bad?
Yeah.
Just for the beginning of the movie, though.
Sure. But what if she kept going with that and became a supervillain?
So, do all the Avengers die?
I don't know.
That's a lot of stuff. I get what you're saying.
That's a general example.
Yes, same thing. What if Captain America is evil?
Yeah.
Could go with that. Like, it could be, and has to kill. No, I got nothing. That's why I'm not making the show.
I think they have a little bit more time than 5 seconds, but
yeah. I'm excited.
Another thing I'm excited about is the Loki show.
Yep.
That it is jumping off right from where Loki took the Tesseract in Endgame. So
perfect.
Genius.
We needed that.
Because everyone was like, wait, what happened? They're going to tell us, of course.
So perfect.
They're brilliant people.
They plan ahead. Oh. It was a movie thing that I just thought of.
What?
With one of them, Shang-Chi.
Yeah. And the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Did you see, because I know you only watched that shorter version, so they've been planting seeds.
Okay.
From Iron Man.
About the Ten Rings? Yeah. Yeah, because the terrorist guy was like part of the Ten Rings.
The flag in the background.
Yeah.
And then they went through and showed every tattoo in every movie, and I'm just like, oh, why are these guys so good?
Yeah, well...
And it's the bit I think we mentioned this before.
It's because they're going off of a very vast well of like stuff already. You know, they didn't make the stuff up from the beginning. Like the Ten Rings was already a thing, so like, oh, here's Iron Man. Let's throw this in.
Why did they put tattoos on people?
Because they're a part of the Ten Rings. I don't think they necessarily knew then that they were going to make this movie, but now they're like, we can do that.
That's foresight. Like to even and that's the difference with the MCU in a nutshell, because before this nobody does that. They're just like, what is this movie?
I think what they are brilliant at is attention to detail
and understanding the source material.
Yes, right.
That's the key.
They could make a movie, and if it's just sort of like blah and generic, but they just cram it with details and little minutia from the comic books.
That makes sense.
That allows them to jump off of things later, even if they didn't know it was coming.
Choose.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Because the Mandarin, was in Iron Man. Sort of was in Iron Man 3 as well.
No, that I was gonna say that's one of the biggest loose ends or whatever you want to call it's left in the MCU.
What, the Mandarin?
That people were upset about that.
Wow. Oh, that they were upset about it?
They wasted this. And it's like, no, they didn't. We're good. We're going to get an epic Mandarin movie.
Yep.
So.
Well, they're tying up another loose end.
With,
sort of in that same vein.
With Thor?
With Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Because there was bad blood there.
Yep.
And they're completely rectifying it.
Genius.
Because I heard she was so pissed that she didn't even film her last scene.
Yeah.
There was some kissing scene, and it was Chris Hemsworth and his wife instead of Natalie Portman.
Wow.
They really screwed stuff up with her.
And what did you read? You know why?
It was contract something, right?
So I read that a lot of it had to do with the fact that, and why she's back now, a lot of it that she felt like she was just a flower vase. That was the quote that I just be pretty.
Just the generic.
Just be there.
Love interest.
And she wanted something cool. Well, I think she got exactly that and some.
Guess what? You're Thor.
Female Thor. It's amazing.
That's crazy.
That's so awesome. I was not expecting that.
She's so tiny.
She is so little.
It's gonna be interesting to see.
It just enhances the whole MCU as a whole.
Yeah.
So that in Taika Waititi is just bro.
I keep saying I heard. I'm gonna give credit to where I'm hearing this stuff from. I heard this on Kind of Funny.
Yeah.
Apparently Taika in a production meeting just threw that name out there, and they're like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." Love and Thunder. He just pulled that out of his brain. He's like, "What about this?" They're like, "Cool, do that."
He pulled that out of his brain.
But it's not like Marvel gave him Love and Thunder. He gave it to them.
He's possible. I think he might be my favorite director. Because I've never had a favorite director. He's the only person I've ever cared about.
What else has he done, though?
What We Do in the Shadows.
Right. Okay, yes. Has he done anything else?
Thor Ragnarok.
Okay, all right, fine.
And he's going to do Akira, the live action of Akira, which we need to watch also.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen it. But it was basically like, oh, wait, huh? Oh, you're amazing. From day one. And that's why I love him.
I'm sorry, I feel terrible. Like, I'm stealing information, but...
Steal it all.
So...
We're sharing. Share the love.
What Kind of Funny said...
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows, the show...
Yep.
...is an FX show...
Okay.
...which is owned by Disney...
Ooh.
...which has ties to Taika. They're like, what if we get, like, a Taika vampire in the MCU? Totally ridiculous.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
But that'd be hilarious.
No, I want that to happen
because...
Now. Are there any vampire characters?
Morbius.
Oh, okay, yes. Oh my god. Don't tease me like this.
I think that's in the Spider-Man universe, though.
Bring it on.
But
I can't talk about Spider-Man.
Why?
Because I love him so much and I just want the next movie. So, other movies. I mentioned Shang-Chi.
Yes.
We got Thor. All the movies. What was the other? Eternals.
All the movies. Eternals,
The first one they showed was Eternals. I know earlier we mentioned like big name
Celestials.
Big name actors in
Oh yeah.
In the MCU. No, not Celestials. They're not Celestials. They were
Celestials will be some sort of part of that, but
they were created by the Celestials.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think there's any left.
I don't know.
So that
I don't want to pretend to know about that stuff.
No, because Ego in Guardians 2 is a Celestial,
right?
And then I think is the
but also
Nowhere, is that a Celestial?
It was
that's Celestial though. Because I think the current going whatever is that they're gone. And I read that the Eternals have been on Earth for a long ass time.
Right.
So I can't wait to find out why they didn't help. Because I'm sure there's a reason.
Right.
So
that I forget where I've seen that, but that's something I love in movies where I think it might have been like Batman vs Superman or something.
Okay.
When they introduce new characters and they show them watching stuff that we've already seen in other movies.
Oh,
like they were just sitting there like they've been here.
Yeah.
They know what happened.
Yep.
But
that's what I'm excited.
Here's these people and here's why they may not have been involved or something. I think it was Batman vs Superman where like someone was watching the absolutely absurd fight going on in Metropolis with
the
Superman.
Intro. It's the way that movie starts.
Yeah.
And
because Bruce Wayne's trying to like save people, like his tower's collapsing.
And that sequence is one of my favorite sequences, and I love when they do that. I think I enjoyed that movie because I saw that opening scene. I was like, I love this movie. Like I'm in on it was like seeing that had me hooked from the beginning of the movie, and I think I actually forgave.
You just rode that wave.
I think I forgave a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was so fixated on that angle. I don't even know how to like describe that.
That and the end are the only things I remember about that movie. The entire middle is a blur.
I remember the intro, them going to his weird glass house, him saying the name of the mother and the person.
Right, the end.
And the ship at the end.
And Wonder Woman was in there.
Oh, she showed up too.
Yeah, which was awesome.
That was cool.
That's the only reason that movie's somewhat redeeming is because she was amazing.
But none of why any of it matters, I couldn't tell you.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're excited about Phase 4 and 5.
Also...
Scarlet... actually...
Black Widow. I didn't forget that. I was just... We knew about that one. That one's going to be a prequel. Super excited for that.
Yeah.
And, Taskmaster is going to be the villain.
The villain, yeah.
Now, what is up with Taskmaster? Taskmaster.
It's a hard word to say, first of all.
Say that 5 times. Say that 5 times fast. Taskmaster. That's
Holy
a hard
God,
one.
say it once.
Taskmaster. Master. I think I might just say Taskmaster. It's easier.
Just say whatever comes out.
Taskmaster.
Okay.
Masking tasks.
Tamscaster.
There we go. The Huber Rebels pod task. Something like that.
Dear God.
Black Widow villain. And I don't know if that's confirmed, but that's theorized.
Uh-huh.
He was in Spider-Man. PS4.
Oh, really?
As a, side mission thing.
Oh, cool.
Didn't even know who he was. It wasn't a big deal in the game.
Interesting.
He's just kind of there hanging out. He doesn't do anything.
Okay.
He doesn't hurt you. He does challenges.
He's just there.
Yeah.
Huh.
You do missions with him, but it's not massive story boss fight or anything crazy like that. And he's in the new Avengers game.
Huh.
And which side note makes me sad because I really wanted Spider-Man PS4 to be connected with Avengers.
Right.
And it upsets me if it's not. Because then it's fragmented.
The only thing I don't like about this new upcoming phase is that once again feel like I know nothing of what's going on in the comic book movies. I had come to grips with the end of like phase 3 and everything before them. Like, cool, yeah, I know these superhero movies. I could tell you almost anything about them. Going forwards, I'm like, oh god, who are these characters? Who is Taskmaster? Never heard of him. People are freaking out. Never heard of him.
That's why I'm excited.
Oh yeah, super excited.
Because that is where
so much more material.
We were.
Yeah.
It feels like that now.
I have so much like rich information.
But I remember starting in MCU and just being like, I don't know anything. But these are good movies.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, I don't know any of this, but I just had a hell of a good time. And I'm ready for this next ride.
The faith that I have in them is insane. I've never felt that way. Nope. Even with Star Wars, which is the like closest thing to my heart in the movie world. I don't have that faith with those movies like I do with the Marvel movies.
There's not many things.
No. Like, even Disney themselves, I don't have that trust in. You know, like
Pixar, and they lost it.
Yep, don't have that. It's Marvel. Marvel is on a strong upward trajectory. Like, there's no...
It's changed the movie industry.
For sure. So there's no end in sight. I was thinking about the other day, because I was thinking about someday in the future, like, if I have, like, a kid and watching these movies with them, like, the Infinity Saga, there's kind of a start and an end. Like, you can visualize that.
Yeah.
We're going very far forwards now with more movies that are still connected to all these. Like, this is a very long, many movie saga. It's
confident
insane.
We will feel like this in 10 years. Again.
But that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
We're going to be at like 40 movies that are all connected.
Yeah. It's craziness. It's absolute craziness. There was a little bit of luck, a lot of hard work, and Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
And
love and dedication to what he's doing.
I don't know what happens when he's gone. They probably stop.
And they should.
Yeah. But he's young, so no need to worry. Hopefully he's training lots of people.
God. Speaking of the Infinity Saga, I believe next week we're going to try to rank those movies.
Yes. Pixar was 21 movies.
Yeah, we can do it for sure.
We'll do 22 movies. That'll be the focus next week.
Yeah. So that's all I have to talk about. Do you have anything else?
I got nothing else. That was more than I was expecting to talk about.
Me too.
So
things just came up.
Yep.
Thank you to each and every one of you for joining us on the Huber Rebels podcast. If you're listening, you can find the video podcast on YouTube. And also, if you would like to join on Patreon and support us a little bit, we will have longer versions of the video podcast with bonus content on there. And if you are watching, we will have the audio versions on your favorite podcast listening services. Yeah, hopefully soon. If you would, we would appreciate also if you could tweet us. Let us know that you watched. Let us know that you are hopefully enjoying. If you have any recommendations or any questions, just hit us up on Twitter. We have an Instagram as well.
Float us a like, a retweet, a subscribe, a follow, a share, all of the above.
Subscribe on YouTube, like the video, all that stuff. Just interact with us a little bit. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you guys are thinking if you guys are watching this, because we want to help this grow a little bit and know what we can do better.
We like feedback.
Yes. My name is Jordan.
And my name is Ethan. We are the Huber Rebels.
Until next time.
Stay marvelous.